Welcome, everybody, to Understanding Web with IsNowGlobal. I'm IsNowGlobal Chuck. We are IsNowGlobal, your premium web design and hosting concierge. Uh, and today, we're going to be going over the top 5 reasons why your WordPress is slow. There are a few reasons, but I tried to narrow it down to just being the top, let's say 3 to 4. Hey, Quan, shout out to Quan. Quan's in the chat. The goat. But yeah, today we'll be going over the top 5 reasons why your WordPress could be going slow. So let's go ahead and just transition over into the intro. We're here to learn web design, enhance your web design, learn mobile design sometimes. We're here to continue the understanding web with IsNowGlobal. Again, we are the web design, web development, and web hosting firm. We are IsNowGlobal. We are here to build your vision today. Head over to IsNowGlobal.com to get started with some premium web design. When we actually start our meeting with you, we start with a meeting to understand your vision. We create a plan to execute your vision, and then we get to work executing that plan and that vision, and then we launch your vision. That's what we do over here at IsNowGlobal. And again, always remember, whenever you're looking for a place to get great web design, head over to IsNowGlobal.com. Get yourself some really great web design over there. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So today, on Understanding Web with IsNowGlobal, we are going over the top 5 reasons why your WordPress may or may not be slow. Quick little overview. So the top 5 reasons why your WordPress is slow, and let's speed it up, which is always our plan here over here at IsNowGlobal. We're always trying to figure out the best way to give our clients the ability to have great websites with great speed, with great plugins, great support, and we kind of hold ourselves to that over here at IsNowGlobal. We're here to make sure that all of our clients have the best ability when it comes to handling their content, handling their brand, and maybe we want to make sure that we keep any of the web headaches or anything over on our end, and we take care of it. So yeah, today. So first thing, is your WordPress slow? I know, weird question. It's very hard to tell. It's kind of subjective, but there are ways for you to tell if your WordPress is slow. Signs your WordPresses are slow. One, you have a page that takes about 10 to 15 seconds to load. When you have a page that takes about 10 to 15 seconds to load, what happens is your users, usually within like 5 seconds, I think it's actually increased a little bit because of how Twitter handles links, and I gotta get into some studies about that hopefully soon. But I'd say your safest bet is between 1 and 5 second load times. And that's even kind of pushing it. We should be in the sub-millisecond range for WordPress. It's always great to make sure that your site loads in less than a second, if at all possible. Whatever you can kind of get to take to get there, and there are a lot of strategies out there to get there. You can absolutely make your WordPress a lot faster. Whether it's like something you're doing that could be causing your WordPress to be slowing down due to processing, slowing down due to loading, slowing down due to traffic. I'm going to try to break down everything that goes along with that and just kind of give you whatever you need to get past that. Okay? And let's go ahead and get to the next slide here. So, does your WordPress take 8 or more seconds? So basically, to figure out if your WordPress is slow, you should ask yourself these three questions roughly. These three questions can pretty much tell you if you need help. Does your WordPress take more than 8 seconds to load? To fully load under ideal conditions. Ideal conditions are, think of someone who has gigabit internet, which I have over here, and that's why I sort of pay for the high level internet so that I can have this little kind of overhead when it comes to me interacting with the client sites and interacting with the clients actually, because I want to make sure that when we deploy your site and we host it and it's running live, that we actually are able to guarantee that you are actually getting all that traffic. You're actually your site's loading. You're able to do everything you can when it comes to um, your WordPress and nurturing your audience and nurturing how they interact with everybody and how they interact with your content and how they interact with each other. It all starts with the load. Loading mean like the load meaning the loading part of your website. Essentially, like, does it take more than 8 seconds? If so, you need to definitely look into why your WordPress is taking 8 seconds to load. Do you have a high bounce rate and site generation time? This one kind of plays into our previous live stream video we did a while ago about metrics and what to pay attention to, and we definitely covered in that live stream. And if you're on YouTube, you look up in the top right corner, you should be able to see a link to that video. Um, but that video we did that, and we were able to kind of break down exactly what you know you need to pay attention to when it comes to your metrics and analytics. One of the two biggest ones I told you to pay attention to, if you remember, was bounce rate and site generation time. Because if you have a high site generation time, you are going to have a high bounce rate unless your content is like amazing, or your Beyonce or some. And even Beyonce has better web people than that. Beyonce website does not take more than 3 or 4 seconds to load, unless even under extreme load. I would almost go as far as to say that Beyonce has a better ability to filter out stuff. But yeah, besides the point. Um, does your site have a high bounce rate and a high site generation time? If either of those are yes, you should take a look at your speed in your website, because even if it's not that, it's a symptom. It's definitely a symptom. Um, does the media in your site take too long to load? This kind of plays into what quality pictures and what type of extensions of those pictures are you hosting on your site. uh Quick little, and if I wish Reggie was here to kind of break down more about pictures and images and photos, because that's his thing. But I know a little bit. And essentially, when you put a 4K image on your website, it may not look 4K, but it is loading 4K images, or 4K image. Like, and the 4K image is, you know, that's 4,096 by I'm trying to remember what it is, but it's or 4096 by 2048. Um, and most people's screens, yes, you can make the argument that some of the really high end phones are up to about the OLEDs can kind of handle 4K, I guess, and some of the Samsung phones are not running at like. Actually, there's that Asus RG phone that runs at 4K. I think we can always use that as a but majority of your users are not going to have a 4K phone. So that 4K video or image you're putting up, while yes, it's amazing to have and can increase, um, there's no reason why you can't put a 1080p version on there. To the human eye, it's almost imperceptible. Okay, slightly imperceptible. But the amount of data that it will save you is like next level. Like, think about it. You're saving 4 times the space by using a 1080p video versus a um 4K video. And I know I'm literally getting ahead of myself here with the script, but it's just kind of important to break down is that if the media in your site does not reflect the user base and the user configurations of that site, then you should also look into why your WordPress is a little slower. Because there is slowdown is okay when you are dealing with, like, you're a photography person, and being a photography person, you have, like, you know a lot of pictures, and you want to show those pictures off in the highest quality you can. Then you can go ahead and put 4K pictures on your website. I at that point, I would still argue against it, and I think most photographers would be like, I don't think most people would notice 1080p versus not. Um, but hey, that it's one of those things. Again, there's plenty of different ways to go about it. This is just my 5 top ones you can go through. Um, how can you tell if your WordPress is slow? Um, Two quick ways, and I do this sometimes with like with clients. Like, if you don't have 2 screens, do a side by side, like where you mount it, where you put the screen on one half and put the other half. This can skew your test, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But if you have 2 screens or you have 2 devices, load up the pages on both devices. Make sure that both devices are on Wi-Fi and off of the mobile network, and then refresh it. Like don't even refresh it. Just go to a web browser, open an incognito tab, and both type in the URL on both, and try your best to click both at the same time. And then you can from there you can kind of tell uh if your site is running slower than your competitor, or who you base your site on, or your market. You want to make sure you're at least as fast as the market is. It's kind of important. Um, but yeah, but that's a free way, a free manual hand-to-hand way of like telling if your WordPress site is slow. Though there are other tools that are out there that you can use if you don't have the time or you want to have a little more metrics to it. Those tools, if you want to be able to tell how your WordPress is running, you can use the following tools. Like Google Page Insights is a great tool. It's my number one recommended tool. Um, it's literally all of our clients have access to it. I deliberately make sure all of our clients have access to Google Page Insights because of how important it is to me and how important it is to, you know, because I use it. And for me, if it's installed and I can click on it and just get a quick rundown, it's always worth it. But don't, it's free. I am pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Google Page Insights is free for at least like hobbyist tier, maybe. And hobbyist tier is like you run your website on your own or you run a small business. But if you run like a 10, 15, 30 person business, you're going to have to pay them the license fee. Do not play around with licensing. If they ask for you to pay, just pay. Trust me, not worth it. Ping Dom website test. This is one I recently looked up recently. I haven't had a chance to play too much with it, but what I was able to do was I was able to simulate traffic from different sources in different states. We do edge location with our servers, which means all of your content, FSO, Career Digital, Bitcoin Vegan, Bitcoin Black America, all that is on edge servers. They all have the quickest the way to get to their audience. Uh, Ping Dom allows you to test if that's actually true. Um, that's a good way to go about it. Okay, I keep doing that, and then we'll get back to where we were. My apologies. Wow, what a day. Sorry. This keyboard is a little strange. So now that we start jumping around, so what causes your WordPress to be slow? Uh, man, this is where we get like into the nitty gritty of things. If you want to know why your WordPress is a little slow, um, as I said in the beginning, we mentioned a few different things you could do to check on that. Always make sure you check on those different things. Like, hey, is your WordPress slow because you have too many pictures on there? Do you have too many 4K pictures on there? Do you have too many videos on there? Are you hiding content that's like 4K on lazy load and then like you forgot about it and then you're technically loading a 4K image every time you load a page but you don't see it? I've been there. We've all been there. Just always check. It's always nice to check. But let's go through the top 5 reasons now. Top 5 causes. Slower, poor quality hosting. Not to brag, but all of our clients on IsNowGlobal don't ever have to deal with this specific cause because we from the start with IsNowGlobal, we make sure that you have all ability to essentially, have to scale. Like we are safe and scalable. Those are our two core values. If it's not safe, it's not scalable. We're not gonna play around with it. Because again, we're here for our clients. We're here to make sure that you have a site that matches the level of traffic. I don't want to be in a situation where Beyonce tweets at your website or puts your website on one of her things and it just doesn't work. Like I want you to get as much of your commerce, as much as your profit, as much as your revenue that you deserve. Um, so again, you may not think that it may matter, but your hosting provider makes the world a difference when it comes to your website. Because again, you're not the one who goes in, maybe you are, who goes into the back end and like kind of changes the RAM and changes CPU and changes all that. You want to make sure you're with a host that you can trust with that, or you have a team that you can trust with that. And again, if you don't have either and you need help with that, please reach out. My email's on the screen right now. yourfuture@isnowglobal.com. We're here to help in whatever way we can. So definitely reach out, and then we'll see what we can do about um, helping you. We work with all web hosts, we work with Shopify, BigCard, all of those. We do designs for all of them. We build things for all of them. If you have a website and you need help, reach out to yourfuture@isnowglobal.com. Let me help you, please. The web is an amazing thing, and I want to make sure you have every tool you have to make it the best. No caching or caching plugin in place. This is important. This is some new stuff right here. Um, Caching is important because this is to bring back the whole Beyonce example. If Beyonce tweets out your website and your website becomes unusable because there's just too many people out there. One of the things that really helps is if you have a caching or a CDN in place, a content delivery network. These are people like Cloudflare, Google has one, AWS has one, Azure has, everyone has one. We have one. Like we use one because caching is very important. Because with the web and working with the web, a lot of things you don't have control over. Caching is surprising, one of those things too, but you can at least influence how it works. Um, and think about caching as if like you're at a restaurant, you are during your rush hour. There is 1,000 people in line right now. You have 4 servers, 2 cooks. But let's say last night someone came in and cooked 948 meals and left them perfectly, in place to be served. That and then you're able to serve those 1,000 people, even though they came all at once. You're able to serve those 1,000 people with those 1,000 pieces of content that you have because somebody was able to go and have that 1,000 plates ready to go. That's what caching is. Caching and content delivery networks are, the people your overnight staff, the people who are there when you're not there, the people who are there to take care of your website when you're not able to be active on it. So picking a caching provider or caching solution is top. Maybe I should move this up actually. Now to think about it, maybe it should be number 4. Maybe it should be like number 2. But it's very important. You want to make sure that you're not leaving customers on the table. You're not losing it because they don't have access to the store. They can't get into the store because the line's too long. Caching is what helps you. Like, okay, example. Remember, everyone's been Chick-fil-A. Regardless of how Chick-fil-A has a caching system. Like their way that they do their ordering system is a cache. They will have you in the drive-through line. You can still order through the drive-through line, but they have people in the line as long as in tandem with the loudspeaker saying, "Hey, what's your order? Let me write it down and send it to the front of the store." And so they're just creating this stack and like as well as the people putting stuff in there. There's also the caching putting stuff in there. And then like there's the speaker box orders and the caching orders, and they just kind of flow together because the system is built that way. Caching is very important because Chick-fil-A is able to handle the millions we have every day. You can be the Chick-fil-A of websites if you have good caching, and that's sort of what you want to be, or not, maybe not. Not thinking about it. Yep. Besides the point. Um, I did it again. uh, yeah, you need caching. Your PHP and another reason why your WordPress could be slow. The PHP version you're using is out of date or old. This is a serious issue, and I see it a lot. Um, like if you ever worked with me and you let me get access to your stuff, I've always upgraded PHP. I have upgraded everything I can because if you don't have an upgraded PHP or it's old or out of date, you are risking a security issue to a level degree that you may never be able to to recover from because when they patch and upgrade PHP, sometimes it's to give you new features. A lot of the times it's to patch out security issues that someone else found to keep you safe. So if you just like, oh, I don't want to update my plugins, I don't want to update my PHP, that's whatever, I don't care. You could be you could be staring down the barrel of a completely terrible attack. So, and again, if you've watched our top 10 plugins to have installed on your site, you know that if that you want, our number 1 plugin was WordPress, and WordPress would immediately tell you that you have a PHP version that's out of date. Believe it or not, there are some plugins that can tell you if your computer that can not make your website fast, but it can tell you where your website is going slower. But WordPress is one of those plugins. And again, if you look at the top of the screen in the top left, top right corner, I believe, you will see a link to our top 10 plugins video where you can figure out and go deeper into, why having PHP updated and why having plugins that are up to date matter. Okay, and that's PHP. So again, make sure your PHP version is up to date. Because if you're not, one, that not only you're going to be slow, it can do security issues for sure. Okay, number 2, you're not using HTTPS, or you're not taking advantage of the HTTP2 protocol. What that mouthful of jargon means is that you didn't necessarily secure your website, or there's a part of your website that's not a secure link, or an image, or a video, or some text, or iframe. If you have on your website anywhere that, if your website is secure and you have it secure with Let's Encrypt, the Cloudflare, self sign, if you have a link on your page somewhere that is not HTTPS, Google, Firefox, Safari, and I now believe even Edge will give your users a big warning saying this site is not secure, and you have done everything you can to make this site secure. You've done everything you can to, you know, make sure that, hey, this is actually working. This is actually, like, secure. It's good to go. But you have a picture in there you copied from Google. You didn't change the HTTPS. That can be the difference between having a great day of traffic and having one of the worst months of traffic you have, because it's very, very easy for you to lose traffic when people don't feel like they're secure, because people, especially if you're an e-commerce store, number 2 should be number 1, because, like, this is important, because if your site's not secure and you're selling things, you're taking payment, that's not good. One, it's not good because you're potentially leaving your payment information just out in the ether instead of creating a peer-to-peer connection between you and the client or the customer. You're going to be blackballed by all the browsers, and you don't want that. No one wants to be blackballed by a browser. Being blackballed by a robot, that's kind of crazy. Like, think about that. But it happened, and it's happening if your website is not secure. So always think about that. If you're not sure if your website's secure, again, your feature, IsNowGlobal, will help you out. And that's number 2. Definitely make sure your website's secure. And the number 1 reason most times why a website is or WordPress is slow: plugins. You have slow or out of date plugins. Let me explain. I'm maybe gonna break this down a little bit more. We're gonna try and keep this below 30 minutes. We got about 5 minutes here. So you have slow out of date plugins. Think about plugins as you know what plugins are if you're watching this video. If you don't, plugins are a great way for you to extend the ability of your WordPress. They allow you to put things like marketing and different things like that, automation and lead generation, all those things inside of your WordPress. But if you're not one of our clients, which is, if you're not a client and you don't have automatic updates turned on, if you don't pay attention to your site for too long, or if you ignore those little notifications, those little blips for too long, you could be looking at down the barrel of like a big exposure from one of the plugins that you're using. Like I said, if you're with us at IsNowGlobal, you have the ability to just have automatic plugins. If you have a WordPress and you don't necessarily want to move it over, but you still want the ability to have automatic updates, reach out to go over to isnnowglobal.com/onboarding, and then get started there, and then we'll see what we can do to help you out, because we work with every single hosting provider, and we work with everything. We're just here to make sure your website and your brand and your time online is spent wisely and in a way that is productive. So again, if you have slow outdated plugins, like it can, there's so many issues with this. Like, to go with one of them, imagine if your plugin is a security plugin, and it's been outdated for like 2 years, and then let's say one of the versions of your version of WordPress there was a giant vulnerability found, and now you're staring on a barrel of like a DDoS attack. You're staring on a barrel of like breaches and whatnot. And all you had to do to mitigate that was just keep your plugins updated, because they're out there. Those bad actors, they're out there. They're waiting for you. They're actively searching your site to see if you have any vulnerabilities, if we can take it over, because that's just what they do. If you've watched our video on our top 10 plugins to have in your WordPress, you'd know that WordFence will give you everything you need for that. But other than that, man, just keep your WordPress plugins up to date as much as possible. If you don't, hire a web solutions manager to help you with that. If you need one, reach out to us. We're more than happy to help you out if we can. Again, your feature at isnowglobal.com or isnowglobal.com/onboard or isnowglobal.com in general. We are going to be updating our site. I know I have to keep a little. I have to sneak little things at the end of the video if you watch to the end here. But we are going to be updating our site along with a few other amazing things coming soon. Won't say more than that. But if you're enjoying this, enjoy it for a little while longer. There's going to be a time where we're not going to be doing these outside of our ecosystem. So yeah, just to reiterate again, if whatever what causes your WordPress to be slow, um, one, bad hosting. So get good hosting. Reach out to us if you need hosting. Uh, not having caching involved. If you need help with caching, help with understanding what caching is, why you need it, do you need it, am I okay without it? Reach out to us at yourfuture@isNowGlobal.com. Um, you know, are you using HTTPS? Is your site secure? Like things like that, little things like that. Is your site secure? Um, are your plugins up to date? Just make sure you have all of those things checked and okay, basically. Um, so yeah, I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys learning me. We're gonna cut this video a little short, keep it around 30 minutes, so I don't take up your entire Saturday here. We're gonna be doing a lot more content. I'm hoping to shoot, on top of our weekly, hopefully to stay weekly live streams. I'm hoping to start doing some, maybe some other content that comes out during the day. Shout out to Jay, man. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. You always here showing support, and I really appreciate you, man. Um, and it just so essentially, like I got a lot of amazing things coming. I know Jay knows what I'm talking about because he's seen the pictures. But I've got a lot of amazing content coming, and I can't wait to show y'all what we have coming. Super excited. I hope you learned something today. If you have any questions, head over. If you have any questions or comments, or if you have any advice, or if you have any not advice, if you have any suggestions on what we should cover in our next live stream, head over to live.isnowglobal.com. You're gonna be watching this video live there, but you can also leave a comment there because we have our own personal comment system. Leave a comment there and let us know what videos or what content that you might want to see, and we'll make sure to put it in our content schedule. We want to be interactive with you all. Um, so yeah, IsNowGlobal just dropped the link in the chat. For those watching on YouTube, uh, definitely cooking up. There's a lot of great things coming up. Oh yeah, he knows. Yeah, he definitely knows what I'm talking about. I can't go into that detail. That's a super surprise. Um, but yeah, head over to live.isnowglobal.com to leave any suggestions, any comments you have about our live streams or about our videos. If you don't feel comfortable leaving them on YouTube, head over there. If you're not on YouTube, head over there. If you don't want to be on YouTube, head over there. Twitch. Oh yes, if you have Amazon Prime and you are on Twitch, head over to twitch.com/isnowglobal or twitch.isnowglobal.com and subscribe. Give us an Amazon Prime sub. It costs you nothing. Gives us $5 to help with the content, delivering amazing information to y'all as we can. Shout out to Quanflix. Quan is the GOAT. I'm gonna dedicate another like 10 seconds here just to let you know that Quan is definitely the GOAT. If you need your desktop, if you need like anything built web, like technology wise, always for sure go to Quanflix. Go get your desktop built by Quan. Oh man, I see a lot of people so hey, if you're in here now, we're a little bit we're towards the end of the video, but I would love to go through the last few slides here and just kind of go through and let y'all know the most important part. So um I'll run through it pretty quickly here. Let's go back and run through because everybody's in here. I'm gonna run through quickly. So for everybody in here, my name is IsNowGlobal Chuck. I run at IsNowGlobal, a web hosting, web design, web development, and web hosting firm. We are web concierges. We're here to give you the best ability to, be on the web. If you ever need anything for web hosting, web design, reach out to us. Today we're about 30 minutes into the live stream, but today we went over what causes your WordPress to be slow. For those who are just joining now, I'm going to run through the last little segment again. So yeah, what causes your WordPress to be slow? If you have bad hosting on your WordPress, you are going to have a bad time. Everything we do at IsNowGlobal is to make sure that all of our clients have the best amount of hosting ability possible. We have meetings with you. We make sure that you have the amount of server space, resources, and load balancing ability to handle a Beyonce level like tweet, things like that. And if you don't have us or someone of that nature, you will have issues with your website scaling up, dealing with like quick flashes, like bots. We also work with like dealing with bots, things like that, and you also want to make sure you have good hosting to mitigate all those issues. No caching or caching plugins. If you use WordPress, you want to know want to know why your website's not doing too well. Check on your caching. If you don't, or your CDNs. If you don't have a CDN, definitely look into one. IsNowGlobal has a CDN. There's Cloudflare. There's Google. Believe Google and Amazon have their own. Reach out to them. So definitely look into caching plugins. They can definitely help you a lot. The PHP version of your website you're using is out of date. Always go to your site info and check the PHP version. If it's anything below 7.3, reach out to us. We'll help you get that up. You're not using HTTPS, which means your website's not secure. If your website's not secure, you're not going to get any traffic. You're not going to have people coming to your site. People are going to be scared to pay money on your site. Especially if you're selling things, this can be the killer, pretty bad. So definitely look into that. And you have a slow RD plugins. Make sure you go out and check if your plugins are updated. If your WordPress is updated. Your WordPress should be on 5.2 plus. Your plugin should have been updated as soon as recently. Go check now if you can. If you're on your phone and you're able to go check your plugins right now. Make sure they're up to date. If not, reach out to your feature at IsNowGlobal.com and we'll get you fixed. Thank you all for coming. I greatly appreciate you. I'm gonna give y'all a round of applause. You've all been a really great audience. I hope you learned something today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to go help us out, check us out on twitch.isnowglobal.com, youtube.isnowglobal.com, twitch.tv/isnowglobal. Go ahead and head over there and give us an Amazon Prime sub if you have one. We'd love it. It helps us, create better content here and there. Anything else y'all need, please reach out to me. My Twitter is on the screen at IsNowGlobalChuck, as well as my website, IsNowGlobal.com. Head over there. Let me know what y'all want if y'all need anything. And if y'all have any ideas for any future videos, go over to live.isnowglobal.com and leave a comment and let us know what kind of content you want us to cover here. Because I do want to make sure that y'all are at least getting something out of this. And that, we are continuously enriching our audience here. So head over to live.isnowglobal.com and we'll be able to help you out for sure. So with all that being said, let me know what y'all think. Have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Head over to isnowglobal.com/links for all of our links, all of our amazing goodies. There's some free stuff in there that's going to be free for another week. Oh, by the way, all of our free stuff, all of our free templates, our free Divi template, our free HTML template, all that's going away. If you want it for free, I would go download it as soon as you can, because at any moment now, I will be taking it down and you will have to purchase them. So let me know if you guys think, what you guys want, from what you guys need. Again, head over to live.isnowglobal.com. And thank you so much for watching. Give you guys another round of applause here, and then we'll get started. Get going. I'm gonna leave y'all with the outro here, and I'll talk to y'all in the future. Catch me. Oh yeah, catch us next week, 12 p.m. Subscribe to us on youtube.com/isnowglobal, youtube.isnowglobal.com, twitch.tv/isnowglobal. Let us know what you guys want, what you guys would like, and we'll see you guys next week.